Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to this very special episode of Tuesday Night Raw. Obviously not being uploaded on a Tuesday, but there you go. I've been promising this now for a couple of weeks, and I think I've finally been able to get around to actually recording it since I was up until gone 1 o'clock last night doing my other video. So I've managed to finally get around to it. We're going to have a 6-match card for you this evening, and as you can probably tell by the top there, this is going to be Raw Invades ICW. And we're going to see various debuts here this evening. And all these guys that are debuting will be staying with the Raw roster as well. So we're going to have quite a few new additions. Now, sort of backstory to this one. This was sort of brought up by Rowdy Roddy Piper, of course, part of the Tuesday Night Raw roster. He complained to Shane McMahon about the lack of British talent. Well, the lack of British talent. The guys you can see there on the screen are, of course, are German and Dutch. But still, the lack of British talent in the WWE in general. So Shane allowed this event to take place here this evening. And it's going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure if some of these championships change hands. It might actually ruin our feuds. Of course, I'm on about the European Championship and the Raw Championship, but we'll see what happens. So, the card we got set for you this evening. Starting things off, we're going to see Edge and Christian, who only recently won the Tag Team Championships this week, actually, against the Giants. And already they're being forced to defend them against the Sumerian Death Squad. Two of my favourite wrestlers. I'm a massive Tommy End fan. I've spoken about him before in my previous universe modes, and I'm so happy to finally find a way to squeeze him into this universe mode as well, and potentially could become the Raw Tag Team Champions on their first show. Match number 2, we're going to see a Fatal 4-Way Falls Count Anywhere match. We have got Sami Zayn, Noam Dar, Jack Jester, and Cesaro. Noam Dar, of course, is one of the men currently in the Global Cruiserweight Championship, the real version, not mine, of course, but the Global Cruiserweight Championship, Noam Dar. And I think he's very marketable, and I'll talk about that a bit more in the match. But I think Noam Dar might have a future in the WWE pretty soon. The Raw Women's Championship, Tamina's going to be defending it against Nikki Storm. Nikki Storm, of course, recently signed with WWE. She has made her live show debut in NXT, so be interesting to see how she develops on the roster. And, of course, Rowdy Roddy Piper, the man who's engineered this event, really is going to be at ringside. We're going to see Santino taking on Grado. And again, we're going to have Rowdy Roddy Piper at ringside as well. I don't know why I put this match together. Just I was thinking of who we could put Grado against, and I didn't want to put him against anyone too serious because that's just not what Grado's about. And then I thought, hey, give Santino a chance. Hashtag still going, and we're going to get to him once again here this evening taking on Grado. Now, Shane did offer this match to Rowdy Roddy Piper, but he decided to give this one up because he thought there was another man, a man from ICW, who was a bit more deserving of this. A guy who got the short end of the stick when he was in WWE, and now he's left the WWE. He's really starting to make waves across the indie scene, across the entire world, and I'm sure we'll see him back in WWE for not too long as well. And that, of course, is going to be Drew Galloway, or Drew McIntyre, if you will. And then our main event, now not necessarily Scottish, but I've been saying I've wanted to do this since the very beginning of the Universe mode. So the British Bulldog is going to get an opportunity to fight it out for the Raw Championship against John Cena. So, this is going to be an interesting one. This might take some time to do this episode because it's loading custom wrestlers and custom arenas. I'm going back to my old ways of difficult videos, but hey, let's go for it. First match, here we go. And here we go. Here is the first match of our Raw Invades ICW pay-per-view. This is going to be the Sumerian Death Squad taking on Edge and Christian for the Tag Team Championships. And here we go. That was, I'll tell you what, this game really frustrates me, it really does. I have set the show to take place at unknown because there was no Scottish locations on the game. And for some reason it's decided to change it to Boston, Massachusetts. So just ignore that, we are in the Hydro Arena in Glasgow. At least that's what the arena says when I downloaded it anyway. Yeah. Sumerian Death Squad, a really good tag team. A tag team I really, really like, to a point where I actually own that anti-hero hoodie as well. I would love to see these two guys as tag team champions. Of course, we did use Tommy End quite extensively in our first universe mode. He was actually, I think he did quite well in our G1 Climax Festival as well, so that was pretty good to see. And I'm hoping he's going to do well here again in this universe mode. And who knows, they could win the tag team championships right here tonight against Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian can have one of our shortest ever championship reigns in the universe mode, winning the belts on a Tuesday and then losing them again on the Saturday. It's very, very possible. It's a shame these belts because they look so funny around the waist of Big Show and Andre the Giant, but Oh well, what will be will be. But there's no saying that Sumerian Death Squad are going to win this one. Like I've said before, Edge and Christian both very, very strong competitors, not only as a tag team, but individually as well. Both these guys are very, very strong. Both former world champions as well. So, yeah, this is going to be a tricky one. This one could really go either way. And I did consider having Roddy Piper at ringside for this one as well, but I thought it made more sense just to keep it ringside for the Scottish people. I was going to say guys, but of course we do have Nicola Glenn Cross, or Nikki Storm if you will, in that match later on for the Raw Women's Championship. And who knows, if she could pull off that, we could have 4 brand new champions here. And Tommy End straight away with the kicks. And if you don't know who Tommy End is, I definitely suggest you check him out. He has worked quite a lot of American dates this year as well, actually. I think this has been one of his breakout years in America. He's done bits and bobs in the past for Combat Zone Wrestling and stuff like that. But this year, he's got himself into Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. So I say this year. Last sort of 12 months, I should imagine then. He's got himself into Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. He got into Evolve. And the best thing about being in Evolve means that you are wrestling directly in front of William Regal and Triple H most events, which is fantastic. And I wonder whether WWE might be looking at Tommy and thinking, you know what, he's a Dutch wrestler. It's a strong market we haven't really delved into in the past, so why not? Plus, he's fluent English. Tommy End, he's good at promos, and he's got that sort of sick sadistic sort of gimmick going on. He's a bit like a good version of the Ascension, really. This Sumerian Death Squad. But one thing you will notice about Tommy End is his kicks. He is, I think he does a lot of kickboxing as well, or I'm not entirely sure. He does a lot of kicks. I know that. I've seen him knock guys out before. I went to one live show a few years ago where he actually kicked a guy, and the guy was just out. He just flopped, and the match finished shortly after that, and someone had to help him to the back, and he... it's the closest I've ever seen to actually the cartoon bit where you've just got the birds flying around the head. It was just that perfect sort of look on his face. And so far, Tommy End has done a great job here, and he brings in his tag team partner, Michael Dante. Now, in ICW, these two guys, I'm not 100% sure. So some of you might have to let me know, and I think this might be something that either Tony Wilson or Jay might know. They've got a third member of Sumerian Death Squad, I believe. Am I right? Is it Mikey Whiplash? I don't know. Is he actually part of the Sumerian Death Squad, or some sort of stable going on there? It might be a situation where we can bring him into the universe mode at some point. Add another Scottish guy into the roster. I did see, when I was downloading the guys for this show, I saw Mikey Whiplash on there, and I noticed a lot of the symbols and the attire is very similar to the guys Tommy End and Michael Dante. So you guys might have to let me know on that one. Is that the case, or is that an old thing? Is that not going on anymore? Is that just a temporary thing? Or because I've not noticed in any of the other UK sort of any other UK rosters, and well, I suppose because a lot of the ICW guys don't really go a lot around the UK. I suppose I think there's a few, but I think a lot of the ICW guys just stick to ICW because they do have a pretty big schedule, I believe now, especially with the on-demand service, as you can see there on the bottom of the screen as well. Which is pretty cool. I've never actually watched it. I've watched a few ICW videos on YouTube, because they used to have all the ICW shows live on YouTube when they were being... and I think they uploaded them all on YouTube after they recorded them, so that was pretty cool. You can go back and watch like tons and tons of episodes. It's like going on the network and just watching Raw and SmackDown for a year, basically. Spinning heel kick there by Edge. Stomping on the chest of Tommy End, and now bringing him back up to his feet. And over the top of his shoulders he goes. Yeah, Tommy End has done quite a lot. Like I say, I'm a massive Pro Wrestling Guerrilla fan, and obviously I'm from the UK as well. So when guys like Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Scurll and Mark Andrews, Will Ospreay, Tommy End, when they all got the chance to go over to America and start to compete in companies like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, I was so happy to see that, because they're top quality wrestlers, and it just shows how much the European indie scene has grown over the last few years to develop this sort of talent that years ago never really existed. England was never really a hotbed for wrestling, but over the past sort of 3 or 4 years, I think it seems to have really improved so quickly, to the point now where we're not only importing stars from America, America's actually importing stars from the UK, which is fantastic to see. 2 count there by Edge over Tommy End. And it's crazy to think that we could see 4 brand new champions here this evening, and like I said earlier on, that might completely screw up our feuds. I don't know what's going to happen here. if, of course, Randy Savage and Cesaro are currently feuding over the European Championship, should Drew Galloway win the European Championship from Randy Savage, then, yeah, that could be crazy. That could just completely destroy the feud. I'm not quite sure what would happen there. And the same thing with Cena. Of course, Cena and The Rock are currently feuding for the Raw Championship. If the British Bulldog was to win the belt this evening, would that destroy the feud between The Rock and Cena as well? I don't think it's too much of a problem, because we can just manually continue a feud, or we can work in the new champion, make it a triple threat or fatal four-way feud. It's going to be pretty... it's going to be a pretty easy way of doing it, I suppose. And at the moment, Edge and Christian seem to have turned this match around a little bit. They were looking a little bit weak, but now it seems to be they've turned this one around. There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh, Michael Dante just comes in time. And it looks like Dante might have actually flattened the referee at the same time. There's the unprettier by Christian. As you see Edge taking Michael Dante down, and referee's going to count Christian here. And they've done it. Edge and Christian successfully defend the Tag Team Championships against the Sumerian Death Squad. Great teamwork by them. And it's a shame. I wanted Sumerian Death Squad to win this one, I'm not going to lie to you, but still I think they're going to be great additions to our roster. As I've said earlier on, everyone we're going to see in the show will now become permanent members of the Raw roster. So it's not a one-off. All these guys are going to go back, and girl as well, should I say. All these guys are going to go back and really start to help develop this roster, because, as I've said before, this roster sort of struggles with up-and-coming stars. It's very much a roster of legends, for the lack of a better term, I suppose. No, not all of them are legends, I suppose, but established stars, should we say. There's a few up-and-comers in the shape of Sami Zayn and Cesaro and stuff like that, but when you add the likes of Noam Dar, Sumerian Death Squad, Drew Galloway, you're really adding some more up-and-coming guys to the roster, and I'm quite happy about that. I think it's going to be a good way for our roster to go. Plus, it sort of adds, well, especially in the case of Sumerian Death Squad, it adds some more singles competitors in there as well. I'm thinking Tommy End is somebody who can definitely fight it out at the top of the roster. Not quite sure if we'll risk giving him the Raw Championship. But then again, if he earns it, then why not? If he earns it, then we can't say no, really, can we? But I think him going for the European Championship might be a good idea. And that's great teamwork there. As you can see, Edge just taking Dante out, just dragging him through that middle rope and dropping him in that neck breaker, while Christian picks up the free count. So there we go. Our first match of the evening is out of the way. Raw invades ICW. And unfortunately for ICW, it is Raw who comes out victorious in the very first match. Edge and Christian only won the belts about 4 or 5 days ago, and they've successfully retained them once already. That's a better record than the Giants ever had. They had one title defense and lost the belt straight away. So yeah, great win here for Edge and Christian. And this is the start of what could be a very, very good show here this evening. And I hope you're all strapped in for the whole thing. And I am keeping to talk to fill all this space. And hopefully we get to the end of this soon. And we do! Yay! And here is match number 2 of the evening. We've got Sami Zayn, Noam Dar, Jack Jester and Cesaro in a fatal 4-way Falls Count Anywhere. And here we go. So my throat is killing me. I don't know what's going on here. It's all this talking. Here we go. Noam Dar. Now, I was saying earlier on that I think this guy has got a potential in the WWE because he's so marketable. And the reason I say that is, if you did watch, of course, TNA British Boot Camp a couple of years ago, the second series, he was involved in that. And it was sort of announced, of course, that this guy can speak a multitude of languages, a bit like Sami Zayn, including Arabic. And judging by the amount of shows that WWE do across Arabic countries now, they're doing shows in Dubai and Egypt and Saudi Arabia and all that sort of places. To have a guy who can actually do a promo in Arabic would really work out well for them. And that's why I think there's an interesting opportunity for WWE to take Noam Dar on. And of course, Noam Dar is part of the Global Cruiserweight Championship. In real life, not my one. I was going to have him part of our Global Cruiserweight Championship, then I decided this would be a better way of bringing him into the roster. I really wanted to give him better show here, really, and just to show exactly what he can do. And here is Jack Jester. A man, I'm not going to lie, I don't really know a lot about. I've not, obviously, I live down in the Midlands, West Midlands in the UK. So for me to get up to Glasgow for an ICW show would take a very, very long time. So I've not ever been to one. And some of the guys, like I mentioned earlier on, don't really delve too much into the UK indie scene. They're very much based in that one company because, well, evidently the bookings is enough there to get what they need to do. But I'm quite intrigued by Jack Jester. I know I've seen bits and bobs of him. I know he's got a very interesting gimmick. He's got a hardcore aspect to him as well, and that's one of the reasons why I brought him in to this roster, because there's something else that's going to be coming into this roster soon, and I think he might be a great addition to that part of the roster. I'm not going to give too many ideas because I want to keep it a little bit of a surprise. And here is Sami Zayn, another man who speaks Arabic as well. I believe he speaks Arabic. And again, that's another reason why he probably is going to be so marketable when they do these tours across the places like Dubai that speak, the majority of them speak the Arabic language. Of course, a lot of people speak English anyway, but at the same time, it's nice to be able to go to a country and give them a promo in their native language, really. So this is going to be an interesting match, this one. 4 guys, I'm not going to say completely different styles, because I think Sami Zayn and Noam Dar have got similar styles. Noam Dar, probably a little bit more of a submission specialist than Sami Zayn is, really. I think Noam Dar likes to work on his submission work, and he is it's quite disgusting to watch sometimes, I must admit. Only because himself and Zack Sabre Jr. does this well. Zack Sabre Jr. is horrible with it as well, where they'll sort of twist the hand back, but then they'll take each individual finger and sort of like twist that back, and it's just cringy to watch them. I don't know why. I've watched a lot of wrestling. I've watched hardcore matches. I've seen all this sort of stuff going on. I've seen barbed wire being used. I've seen glass being used. I've seen some really horrible stuff in wrestling. But the thing that really cringes me out the most is when Noam Dar and Zack Sabre Jr. start bending fingers, but I don't know why. It's pretty crazy, isn't it, really? So yeah, an interesting one, this one. Cesaro making his way to the ring as well. Of course, Cesaro currently feuding with Randy Savage for that European Championship. Be nice to see, of course, a European as the European Champion. That would be very, very nice. But we could see that later on this evening, of course, with Drew Galloway. If, of course, Randy Savage was to lose the championship, I don't know what we would do. I don't know if we'd just go for Cesaro versus Galloway, which for me would be an incredible match, actually, thinking about it. Or whether we would... we would consider maybe doing a triple threat match. Who knows? But of course, this is Fatal 4-Way Falls Count Anywhere, as I normally do. Keeps it a little bit more interesting. Means that pinfalls and submissions can happen anywhere in the arena. Plus, it means that weapons are available as well. And of course, weapons are always available in a Fatal 4-Way. Unless you work for TNA, of course, which is pretty crazy. I don't know if any of you watch Botchamania out there, but TNA have been quite comical with some of their rules over the last year or so. They sort of make these rules up, and then I think there was a Fatal 4-Way in TNA a few weeks back where the referee got taken out, and then all of a sudden Matt Hardy grabbed the chair. It's like, oh, Matt Hardy can use the chair, the referee's down. It's a Fatal 4-Way, it's no disqualification. It's always been that way. It's been that way since Fatal 4-Ways existed, because you can't disqualify one person, really. And it's just that they're a little bit just strange with the rules, really, TNA. And there we go, I was saying about Noam Dar earlier on. Bit of a submission specialist, very much a mat wrestler. Similar in style to Zack Sabre Jr., I would suppose, but a very good wrestler. He's part of the Global Cruiserweight Championship, but as I've said, I wouldn't be expecting a guy who's going to be doing flips and spins and this, that, and the other. He's very much this sort of mat-based wrestler. Likes to just pick your body apart and destroy it, basically. As we see, interesting the way the match is split up. We can see Cesaro and Zayn, who of course, did feud last month, and Noam Dar, out of nowhere, just levers Sami Zayn with the chair, and Cesaro just slides in the ring and decides to take on Jack Jester. And there's the pin by Noam Dar, but straight away Cesaro trying to break it up. And this game is so broken, it's unbelievable. I've noticed this quite a lot in Fatal 4 matches now. People just can't seem to break up pins. They they keep just trying to do moves above the pin, which is quite frustrating. But we almost saw a win there straight away. And there's Jack Jester there with the Pele kick, or the Pele kick. Or if he's Scottish, the Pele kick. That's terrible. I apologise, DHD I forgot what your name is now. DG Gaming? DH Gaming? You confuse me. Where are you? Where are you? I've lost you. So I'm just checking now, so I've got your name right. I know you're on my sub list somewhere. Well, you've called yourself the Wrestling Network now, isn't it? Is that right? I think you're the Wrestling Network now. Last time I saw you were the Wrestling Network. Okay, see, I've got... There we go, Wrestling... Yeah, the Wrestling Network, because I know you're Scottish, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, I do very much enjoy doing a Scottish accent, but I tend to stay away from accents while I've been on this while I've been on YouTube, because I don't really want to offend anybody. I know I've come close on a few occasions, but there we go. There's Noam Dar almost picking up the victory again over Sami Zayn, and I'll tell you what, a debut here for Noam Dar, picking up a win over the likes of Sami Zayn in a Fatal 4 match here would be a fantastic debut, really, wouldn't it? It would be a way for him to burst onto the scene. Zayn slides around the back and drops Noam Dar as Sami Zayn flattens the referee there with that backdrop on Noam Dar. Cesaro was looking to pick up the victory there over Jack Jester. Wasn't quite enough, and there's that big European uppercut by Cesaro. And for some reason Cesaro just jumped over the top of that pinfall. And that's what I was saying. For some reason the game just doesn't want to work with breaking up pinfalls at the moment. I'm hoping we don't end up with a really crappy finish to the match, because it's a possibility at this rate. Noam Dar with a drop toe hold. Jack Jester now tried the backdrop on Zayn, but Zayn managed to flip out of it, and Zayn going for the Northern Light suplex as Noam Dar now trying to pin Cesaro. Noam Dar doing his best to try and pick up the win here. And a drop kick to the face of Sami Zayn while Zayn was pinning Jack Jester, and finally somebody actually managed to break up a pin. And I just want your guys' input. Like I said, I've not been to any ICW events before, and I would like to, but what do you think of this arena? I know, of course, the ICW arena is a bit more close to the crowd, isn't it, really? As there's the pin on the outside there by Jack Jester after that big, impactful backbreaker, and that could be enough. It's not. Sami Zayn kicks out. And now we're going to see it. Yes, we are. Cesaro is going for the swing. I think it's the first time I've seen Cesaro use the swing on this game. Noam Dar doesn't know what he needs to do here. You can't get out of it, Noam. You've just got to take it. Cesaro drops him, and now Jack Jester up onto the middle of the rope. And does break up the pin in time. And thankfully we are starting to see a couple of guys actually managing to break up pinfalls, which is handy. Cesaro now taking Noam Dar into that snap suplex, and Jack Jester with a pin on the outside, and Sami Zayn, referee very, very slow to get down. Cesaro tries to slide out and get there. It was only a 2 count though, thankfully for Cesaro. The referee was incredibly slow getting down. I think the referee, if he'd actually got down quickly enough, that could have actually been a 3 count. Now, looks like we're split off again, and we're going to go for Sami Zayn and Noam Dar. Zayn sending Dar into the corner. Referee again, very, very slow. But it's not quite enough again, and Zayn, I've seen this before, he likes to use this manoeuvre. This is going to be interesting though, with the other 2 guys stood there. Oh, it looks like it's not going to work. Ah, I thought it was going to go for the DDT through the bottom rope then, but it looks like Cesaro may have broken the animation while attacking Noam Dar. Noam Dar now sending Jack Jester over the top with that arm drag. And you notice a lot of the stuff that Noam Dar does is always working down on the body parts that he can potentially get a submission on later on. There's the pin from Zayn after Blue Thunder Bomb on Cesaro, and that's enough. And Sami Zayn picks up a huge victory here in this Fatal 4 match. And unfortunately for ICW, it's now 2-0 to Raw. I say it's 2-0 to Raw, but in fairness, Raw's taken all these guys away with them anyway, so ICW's lost either way. They've lost all these fantastic wrestlers that they base their roster around. They're all now going up to Tuesday Night Raw anyway. And I wonder if we could do some sort of tag team. I like the idea, maybe, and you'll have to let me know what you think about this one. What about Noam Dar and Sami Zayn as a tag team? What do you think? What do you think about that one? I don't know why. I'm just intrigued by that. And for those of you, I know a lot of my viewers are actually American. After looking at my analytics, a very easy word to get wrong. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to have a look at the analytics now. I've got you on the old... Oh, I've got 3 new subscribers since the last time I looked. That's good. We're getting there, people. We are getting there. Right, demographics. That's what I want. So, yeah, majority of my views come from America by the looks of it. In the last 12 months, it doesn't really tell me what the percentages are, really. I know I've got an 8.4% female viewing, which surprised me. I'm surprised I've actually got 8.4%. So thank you very much if you are female. Yeah, the majority of my viewers are American. So a lot of you might not actually know who Noam Dar is, I suppose, but I'm sure you'll find out very, very soon when the Global Cruiserweight Championship finally gets underway. And here we go, match number 3 of the evening, a second championship match of the evening as well. This is going to be Tamina Snuka defending against Nikki Storm. And here we go. Still in Boston, Massachusetts for some bizarre reason. This game is so broken. Yeah, I don't know why. I put it down as unknown because I didn't want it to come up with any place apart from obviously what we wanted to see, which of course was going to be Glasgow. So I don't quite know why it's done that, and I don't quite know why that says custom champion. It keeps doing that as well. It's happened to a few of the belts now. And for some reason, it just deletes all the names, and I have to go back in, put the names back in. It works again for a few weeks, and then it goes and deletes all the names again. So that's a bit annoying. I don't know why it does that. Ah, okay, I'm with it. Sorry, I'm still on my analytics, just trying to figure stuff out now. I'm obsessed by just the analytics, just seeing all these numbers everywhere. Not that it makes any difference, really. And I'm amazed how good Fully Loaded's done, actually. I Fully Loaded pay-per-view a few weeks back. It's got 199 views, which is quite a lot for me. And nearly 3,000 minutes are being watched, just that one video. That's crazy. So Tamina, of course, won this belt a few weeks back at the... I say a few weeks, only a couple of weeks back at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view when she defeated Becky Lynch. Becky still yet to have her rematch. She got a bit dominated, so we're not necessarily giving her an automatic rematch, but I think she's getting a rematch soon because she did defeat Tamina in a non-championship match. I think that's coming up next week, but then again, she might not actually be the champion. It might be this lady right here, Nikki Storm, the champion, or Nicola Glenn Cross. Of course, as she's now known in NXT at the moment. Not the best core in the world, but at the same time, it was the best one available. And I still like on this game the fact that women's breasts seem to move completely independent to the rest of the body. They have their own gravity. And I know that was something that the WWE put into the game this year, or 2K put into the game, was gravity on breasts. I know that was something they actually worked on. But I don't think it's necessarily worked in this case because they just seem to have a mind of their own. And I do apologise for the 8.4% of my viewers that are female about me just talking about breasts the whole time. But I just thought it was worth noting that the breast glitch. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking now because that's just digging myself into holes a bit, isn't it, really? But yeah, it is a problem that they've had. It definitely is. So interesting one, this one. It'd be strange to see if we get a new champion. I would love to see at least one new champion from this pay-per-view. I don't think Bulldog's going to pull off the Raw Championship somehow. I'm intrigued by Savage versus Galloway, I'm not going to lie. I'm intrigued by that one. I think Galloway could pull that one off. But stats-wise, they're very, very close. I think this one is going to be very, very close as well. I'm not quite sure what sort of impact Roddy Piper's going to have at ringside. I don't think he's set as a heel, so I don't know if he's going to have too much involvement, really, as a clean break there by both ladies. And, yeah, like I said, Nicola Glenn Cross, of course, signed up to NXT in the most recent set of sign-ups a few weeks back, has made her debut in a couple of live shows. I think she's lost both matches to people I've never heard of before, so hopefully they'll turn that around a bit soon. She's actually really good. Again, another person that was involved in TNA's British Boot Camp, the second series. She did the first I don't think she got past the first set of qualifiers. I don't think she did the little ring work thing. She did the promo on Gail Kim, and I thought she was really good. I might be wrong. She might have got a little bit further than I thought then, maybe. Although I seem to remember that only Kaylee Ray was the only one who got past, the only female who got past that first round. I don't know why. You might have to let me know on that one. But yeah, it's great to see her signed up, and I think TNA, by doing this British boot camp, they had a great opportunity to find all these fantastic British talents and sign them up. But instead, they just took one. They barely used him, and WWE have just swooped in and started scooping up all the others. Of course, Will Ospreay, who was part of... Was Will Ospreay part of boot camp? I'm not sure if he was, I don't think Will Ospreay was, but of course he's now joined New Japan. Mark Andrews, of course, went to TNA. Not really done much there as yet. Noam Dar been snapped up for the Global Cruiserweight Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. wasn't part of TNA boot camp, otherwise he would have won it for sure because he's an amazing wrestler. Of course, I'm sure there's someone else as well. Nicola Glenn Cross, of course, signed up, and yeah, it's TNA. I think just missed a great opportunity to snap up some of these really, really good British wrestlers. But I say that's a good thing for the British scene, really. Although Mark Andrews is still working a lot of British indie shows, it must be killing him flying back and forth to America, though. It's can't be easy at all. There we go. That's my demographics. 52% of my viewers are from America, and 23% are from the UK. And then 5.5% from Canada. And 4% from Australia. I've got some really random ones as well. Like I've got quite a few viewers in Iraq, and I can only assume that if I've got reviewers in Iraq, it's probably going to be soldiers, I would imagine, maybe. I can't imagine many Iraqis sitting down around the laptop and watching me playing WWE 2K16, really, but you never know. I can't imagine anyone actually does that, to tell the truth. So, yeah, thank you all very much for watching my videos, because I must admit, when I started the channel up, I didn't expect anybody to watch it. I was just doing it for a bit of fun, and then all of a sudden, it started to spiral, and I'm quite happy where it is at the moment. We're getting bigger and bigger by the day. We're up to 2,300 subscribers now, and I think I'm very, very close to 200,000 views altogether. So, yeah, thank you guys a lot for that. That's really crazy to even think about that. And what am I? I'm just 7,000 views short. So if you don't mind just watching all my videos 7,000 times, that'd be great. Thanks for that. Yeah. As Nikki Storm, I'm not quite sure if it's called Nikki Storm or Nicola Glenn Cross. I'm not quite sure if WWE are going to change her name at any point in time, or she's been called Nicola Glenn Cross at the moment on the live shows. But of course, you don't really get branded until you get your debut on TV, and they don't know that might happen in the next set of tapings. I'm still surprised they haven't debuted a lot of new people yet in the tapings. I suppose they've debuted some more established people, but not necessarily some of the guys they've been signing up, and the girls, of course, they've been signing up and just putting into the live shows and training up. And I'll be interested to see the next load that come up. I would imagine there's more space in there for women now with Dana Brooke going up, and I can't imagine it'd be too long before Bayley disappears up to the main roster as well. Because Bayley, I'm surprised they haven't put Bayley up there yet, because for me, Bayley is just incredibly marketable. Bayley is your female John Cena. She's the one that's going to sell all the merchandise to the young female crowd, I think. And there is the crossroads there by Nikki Storm. Could this be a brand new women's champion here on Raw? 1, 2. No, Tamina kicks out after a 2 count. So, of course, if you are enjoying the British theme of these videos, if you check out our SmackDown playlist, which there will hopefully be a link in the description below, once I've sorted out the descriptions this weekend, because I'm a little bit behind on some of those. Yeah, check out the SmackDown roster. We've done the Global Cruiserweight Championship United Kingdom qualifiers, and Nikki Storm has done it. Nikki Storm has done it. We have a brand new Raw Women's Champion on her debut, Nikki Storm. Wow. I said I fancied her in this one. I really did, and it was a tricky one because I know Tamina's very, very good, especially on this game as well. She's a bit of a powerhouse. There's that crossroads, which could have won the match for her earlier on, but it was only enough for a 2 count. But then she followed up straight after. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to follow up one big move with another one. Tamina caught with that big boot to the gut, but then as Tamina went for that discus lariat, Nikki Storm just picks her up and drops her into that front slam. draping the entire body weight across the chest of Tamina, making it very difficult for her to kick out. And that was enough for Nicola Glenn Cross, or Nikki Storm, to pick up the Raw Women's Championship on her debut. And that is exactly what I said earlier with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has gained herself a rematch against Tamina, but now, with Tamina losing the championship, and quite convincingly as well, I'm thinking maybe Becky Lynch versus Nikki Storm could be the match. And that is, of course, Ireland versus Scotland as well. That could be very interesting. So yeah, as I was saying a couple of minutes ago, of course, if you are enjoying the British aspect of this video, then be sure to check out our SmackDown roster. Link in the description below. We did do our first round of the Global Cruiserweight Championship qualifiers, which was, of course, in the UK. We did Mark Andrews versus Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Marty Scurll, so be sure to check them out. And here is our next match of the evening. It's going to be a little bit of a comedy match, maybe. It's Santino Marella taking on Grado. And again, Hot Rod will be at ringside. And here we go. We got a bit of Grado. That was Scouts. What have I done that for? Santino. Now this could be a tag team waiting to happen. Santino and Grado, couldn't it really? What do you guys think of Santino and Grado together? Real comedy tag team on the go, that could be. I like it, you know, I do like it. Be interesting to see which one is the strongest in the ring, though, isn't it, really? I'm thinking Grado for this one, you know, I am. It's a bit difficult to tell because Santino's had a little bit of good form recently. He's picked up a good victory against Adam Rose, I think it was, or was it Heath Slater? One of the two. He then went on the very next week to lose against Mikey Whipwreck, which is a bit disappointing for him, but he'll be hoping to follow it up, and you just see how many people are in the Hydro Arena. I don't even know if this is even a realistic amount. I don't know how big the Hydro is, but Raw, of course, have completely filled it out, and here he is, Grado, looking rather lean actually for Grado. The attire, oh my god, Grado did the splits. The attire is pretty good. Not quite sure if the... That's just... What is going on with this Grado? What is he up to? Oh, I'll tell you what. The next member of this stable has to be Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana, Grado, Santino. Even just Colt Cabana and Grado will do. Oh my word, what is Grado doing? Whose entrance is this? Whose entrance actually is this? It's not... It's not R-Truth, it's not... I have no idea. Oh my god, Grado, what are you doing? Oh god, I've actually got tears. That is just an insane entrance that I've never seen in my entire life before. As I've literally just downloaded all these guys and I've put them into matches, and that is just... Wow. Wow, that is, yeah, that's interesting. Oh god, I've got tears. Oh. Yeah, so Grado looking pretty lean in this incarnation of him, isn't he, really? Of course, he's a little bit on the rounder side in real life, but I think that all adds to him, really. I've met him on a couple of occasions. He's a really nice guy, and he's a funny one. He really is. I'd like to get him to do a channel trailer for me, really. That'd be nice. Possibility he could do a channel trailer. I think he's on the... I think he's on there. I think he's on the... Oh, I forgot what they're called now. Celeb VM, I think it is. Yeah, I'm sure Grado's on there. I think he's one of the newest additions, and I quite like this Celeb VM website. You can get celebrities to make you personal messages. However, some of them are a complete rip-off. Don't even ask Joel Gertner, whatever you do. He takes money and then he decides he wants more money on top, and then I refuse to pay it, and it took me about a month to get a refund, but I finally got that sorted. Is Grado on the list? I'm sure I saw Grado on this list before. There's a lot of people on this list I've never even heard of before. Oh, Matt Cross is on there now, of course. The Son of Havoc. Mighty the Moth, Bram, Hernandez, Mia Yim, Sammy Callahan would be pretty cool. I've not heard of some of these people. Oh, there's Angelica, I've heard of him, of course. Diona Parazzo, whatever her name is. Diona Parazzo. Can someone tell me what is going on in that situation? Is she? And I thought she was signed for NXT, and then she appeared on TNA's One Night Only, and now she's doing indie dates as well. Does she work for TNA? Has she been released? Is she WWE? I don't understand what's going on. Oh, Kaylee Ray's on here. Should have got her to do an intro to this video, shouldn't I? The Sandman's on there. I thought Grado was on it. Oh, they've got Sabu on here now as well. Who the hell is Dirty Jesus? I think Grado. I'm sure Grado's on this list somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't see Grado on the list. He should be on that list because I think you'd do a killing on that sort of thing. And Ricardo Rodriguez is on there. $35 though. I don't know if I want to spend that sort of money on Ricardo Rodriguez. I spent $60 on Kurt Angle, for God's sake. So, back to this match, and me just stop procrastinating and looking through celebrityvideomessages.com, whatever it's called. Oh, Grado went for the cannonball and completely crashed and burned in that corner. Santino stalking Grado. There's a big right hand, and of course we've already seen one big Scottish victory in Nikki Storm. I don't know if we're going to see a second one as Santino catches Grado with the Cobra. In for the pin he goes, and this could be the end of Grado. No, Grado is not defeated by a sock puppet. That's always how you know you're a half-decent wrestler, when the sock puppet doesn't defeat you. Because that's a bit embarrassing when you get beaten by a sock puppet. Grado now with a gutbuster on Santino, and can Grado turn this one around? Goes in for the pin. 1, 2. Oh. Kick out by Santino. And yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that Grado and Santino could be a good tag team, or do you think we should? I did mention the other week about making Santino into some sort of dodgy Italian stable like the Little Guido and Tony Marmaluke and those sort of guys. I like that idea, you know. And then maybe Grado, I think teaming with someone like Colt Cabana would be a great thing for Grado. I like both those ideas. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think some sort of... I can't... They were the FBI, weren't they? FBI, that's what it was. Little Guido, Tony Marmaluke, and there was another one as well, a big guy. Like Vinny or something like that, Vinny. Santino with a pin. It's only there for a 2 count. Of course, I think Grado and Colt Cabana have worked together quite a lot of places across the world. Of course, their styles are very, very good, and they work together quite well. So that's probably the reason why they work together so well. Santino now with the headbutt. In for the pin he goes on Grado. 1, 2, and it is enough. And Grado, unlucky. It's a win for Santino. As my phone for some reason just goes absolutely crazy for no reason. Every now and again my phone just kicks into I've run out of my internet on the phone for the month because I've been watching YouTube videos while I've been at work on my phone. I've used up all of the I've used up all of my data, so when I get home and it gets on the Wi-Fi, it just goes absolutely crazy. So a win here for Santino, and it's not going too well for the home talent so far this evening. Apart from Nikki Storm, of course, who had a fantastic go. I'm also classing, of course, Sumerian Death Squad as homegrown talent, considering they're European, but they do a lot of work over in ICW. But of course, the two biggest matches, the ones coming up after this one, we've got Randy Savage defending his European Championship against Drew Galloway. Of course, Hot Rod will be staying at ringside for that one. And of course, our main event this evening, John Cena defending the Raw Championship against the British Bulldog. Something I wanted to see and something we are going to see. And I do apologise if I'm just creating these events in what I want to watch. I hope you guys share some of my visions. I know sometimes some things that I think are going to be a really good idea end up being quite boring to some of you guys. So you have to let me know if that does ever happen. I know one person, I can't remember who it was now, wasn't happy with the idea of me feuding or teaming The Undertaker and Sting up. I don't know why. I thought that was quite good. I thought it was a good idea, but there you go. And here we go with that European Championship match. Macho Man Randy Savage defends against Drew Galloway, and I'm sure Cesaro will be at ringside, glued to this one. And here we go. In Boston, Massachusetts, just a couple of miles outside Glasgow, that is, of course. We have got our next match of the evening, this time for the Upper Mid-Card Championship, currently held by this man right here, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, interesting. What would be cool if we brought Jay Lethal into this roster and feuded him with Macho Man? Black Machismo versus Randy Savage. All the way. The feud everybody wants to see. So I think someone did suggest that as a random match ages ago. I never got around to recording that one. There's no good Jay Lethals on the internet. It's quite annoying. So this could be an interesting one. This could potentially be our second championship change of the evening. I fancy this one, you know. I've got a feeling that Cena's going to be too strong for Bulldog in the next match. But this one I can see being an interesting one. And like I said, Cesaro will be backstage watching this one quite intently because, of course, Cesaro is the man who's forced his way into the #1 contendership for the European Championship. So should the championship change hands here this evening, it's going to be a little bit tricky, shall I say, for Cesaro. And here comes Drew Galloway. Quite a good-looking Drew Galloway, actually. I'm quite happy with that one. I did actually manage to download him 4 times by mistake. I don't know how I did that. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting one. Of course, Drew Galloway, the guy that did work for WWE for quite a long time. Of course, Drew McIntyre was the chosen one by Vince McMahon. For some reason, the whole thing died down, and then you knew his career was over when they stuck him in. Three-man band. But even in part of three-man band, I think they still got over, didn't they? Which was quite interesting. But yeah, I'm hoping we'll see this guy back in TNA. In TNA, well, we've already seen him in TNA now. I'm hoping we'll see him back in WWE at some point. And I'm sure that probably will happen, considering WWE NXT's considering their relationship with Evolve. Of course, at the moment, Evolve have been told by NXT to only book shows with wrestlers they're interested in seeing. And I think, on the other hand, WWE do give Evolve a lot of sort of free exposure, especially with the Global Cruiserweight Championship and stuff like that. So I think it's a mutual advantageous agreement between the two companies. And the interesting thing about that is if that is the case and Evolve are only bringing in guys that WWE are interested in, when you see last week EC3 making his debut in Evolve and doing an anti-WWE sort of promo and teaming up with Drew Galloway to take on an former NXT team, I think they're looking for something on those sort of lines. That makes it very interesting because you think to yourself now, are WWE interested in bringing EC3 and Drew Galloway back in? I can't see why they wouldn't. I think they're two fantastic wrestlers that I really think that they would do a great job of bringing them back in, especially with the lack of top guys they've got at the moment. Both these guys have the potential now. Well, they had the potential beforehand. They have the potential to really become world champions. It depends what they're going to do. Hopefully, they're going to. Hopefully, they are going to do a roster split, because for me, it would be great. It really would. I know they're worried that. I know they would be worried that that they haven't got enough talent to fill the tops of both rosters, but I don't know if that's true. I think they do have a lot of talent. It's just giving them the opportunity. When you think that you've got, at the moment, you've got Roman Reigns and you've got AJ Styles fighting out for the championship. You will also have, very, very soon, of course, Seth Rollins back. You'll have Bray Wyatt back, John Cena back, Randy Orton back. That's 4 guys, all potential world champions, no doubt about it. You've got Ambrose, you've got Owens, you've got Cesaro, you've got Zayn, you've got Del Rio, you've got Rusev. All these guys are potential world champions, so I don't know how they can say they haven't got enough guys to fill 2 rosters. And if you look at it as well, they're gonna eventually bring up Samoa Joe, they're gonna bring up Finn Balor, both from NXT as well. So again, that's 2 potential world champions there again. If they bring back guys like Galloway and EC3 again, you've got potential world champions. I don't know why they haven't done it as yet. I think they might be waiting for the injuries to come back, and there's been a lot of rumours it might happen after SummerSlam, and I'm hoping it does, because it would work out so well for WWE, plus it would halve the workload of everyone wrestling as well, which should hopefully reduce the amount of injuries, which is one of the main problems they've got. Plus, it sort of reduces the overexposure problem, because at the moment, people are annoyed with Reigns. I understand they're annoyed with Reigns. And the worst thing is, if you're really annoyed and you're not enjoying seeing something like Roman Reigns, to see him dominating Raw and dominating SmackDown, you can't get away from him. So literally, wrestling's all about him. So now some people have just stopped watching wrestling in general now, because they can't be bothered with watching Roman Reigns. And as soon as Reigns loses the championship, that might change. But if you have got 2 separate rosters on the go at the same time, if you're not enjoying what's happening on Raw, you can watch SmackDown. And vice versa, if you're not enjoying what's happening on SmackDown, you can watch Raw. Galloway with a pin now. Could he steal this one? No, he doesn't. It's only enough for a 2 count. Galloway now just pinching that nerve in the shoulder. Galloway now with a white noise. One, 2. Oh, I thought he might have it then. I thought he might have it. Galloway now lining up the Macho Man. Oh, future shock DDT. Could this be the moment we get a brand new European champion? Galloway with a pin. Oh, Macho Man kicked out. Oh. Oh, my word. I've just been left speechless now by this. I can't believe Macho Man's kicked out of all of that by Galloway. And Galloway must be worried now, as if he's thrown everything that he's got at Macho Man, then how is he going to finally finish him off? At the moment, Macho Man has just taken everything that Galloway's thrown at him. Oh, big clothesline from that top rope. Galloway now bringing Macho Man to a seated base, and then a kick across the back. Again, now bringing Macho Man back up to his feet, but Macho Man playing possum, catching him with that shoulder block. In for a pin of his own. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Both guys clamber back up to their feet. And this match at the moment really could go either way. We could have a brand new European champion here, or Macho Man could make his first successful championship defense. Like I said, Cesaro's going to be sat there backstage watching this one so keenly. He wants to know who he's going to have to face off against for that European championship. There's the big spiked pile driver. 1, 2, and 3. No. No. I clicked the pen and everything then. I was ready to circle the winner on my piece of paper, and I cannot believe that now Galloway's kicked out, and now Galloway taking Macho Man back up. There's another white noise, and this match is crazy. There's the pin. Ah. I'm out. I'm out of it. I just can't. Wow, these two guys are desperate to have this European Championship. Like I said, I'm so eager to see European as the European Champion. Galloway could be that man, but then again, so could Cesaro. German suplex by Galloway towards that corner. Now Galloway lining Macho Man up. If he can hit another future shock here, there's no way that Macho Man's going to kick out of this. He's got the arms hooked. He hits it. Is Macho Man too close to the ropes though? Yes, he is. Rope break. Referee decides not to count, and that is an error there by Drew Galloway, and that error could cost him the European Championship. Macho Man with the reversal now, sending Galloway into the corner. Locks him up into the Tree of Woe. Macho Man now up onto the top rope, but we're going to potentially see the elbow. No, it's a knee drop. Followed up by running elbow, but Drew Galloway there, I think he avoided it to a point now. Bringing Macho Man into the middle of the ring. And slams him flat in his face. Galloway now rolling Macho Man over and just wrenching that knee as well. Very painful looking move, that one. And a big right hand to the side of the face and a kick to the back as well. And Galloway now just picking apart the body of the Macho Man. You wonder how much Savage has got left in the locker. How much more of this can he take before he has to give the championship up to Drew Galloway? Galloway now looking for another potential DDT there, but Randy managed to reverse it into the Russian leg sweep. There's the pin. 1, 2. And it is enough. Macho Man Randy Savage defends his championship successfully. But wow, that was an incredible match, that was. Both these guys had so many opportunities to win this one. And it was so back and forth. So back and forth to the point where you just couldn't even distinguish who was going to win this match for such a long time. There was the white noise earlier on, we saw it, and that could have picked him up the victory there and then. But it was not enough to finish Macho Man off. And another white noise again, and again, not enough to finish him off. And you see a lot of these highlights are all for Galloway. He did a lot of the big moves, and that's towards the end. The DDT reversed into the Russian leg sweep by Macho Man. And then dropping the knee into the face of Galloway. And just makes you wonder what damage that did to Galloway, that knee to the face, because it seemed to finish him off straight away. And Macho Man does successfully retain his championship. That's going to make things a little bit more simpler, I think, for Cesaro. He's still got his eye on the prize. He's still got his eye on the Macho Man, but I'm sure Galloway's going to have to get another opportunity at some point after that match, because that was incredible, and he really deserves to be right at the top of this roster, I think, Galloway. And here is our main event of the evening. It is going to be John Cena defending his Raw Championship against the British Bulldog. The following match is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Raw Championship. Introducing first, the champion, Mr. John Cena. Of course, John Cena won the championship belt a few weeks back. at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view in a fatal 4-way. Of course, pinned John Cena. Sorry, he is John Cena. He pinned Daniel Bryan pretty quickly in that match, which has led to the Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns feud we currently have on Raw as well. And it's also allowed somebody else, of course, The Rock, to try and get the opportunity himself to get the championship. He's not seen a lot of The Rock so far. So for him to... to get this opportunity at the Raw Championship is really good for The Rock, but at the same time, you'd have to worry a little bit for The Rock in this situation, because if the British Bulldog wins the championship here, then what does that mean for The Rock? Just the same as it was in the last match. Of course, Cesaro was the #1 contender for the European Championship. If Macho Man had lost it, that could have caused some problems for Cesaro. And same thing here with Cena and The Rock, and of course the British Bulldog. If Bulldog was to win the championship, what would we do? If it was an easy victory for Bulldog, I would just be inclined to do Bulldog versus The Rock at the next pay-per-view. If Bulldog was to win and it was quite even, then maybe a triple threat. But that's on the basis of Bulldog winning this one. I think, as much as I would like it to happen, I don't think it's going to happen. In my opinion, I think that Bulldog is very good, but at the same time, I don't think he's quite high enough rating to be able to knock Cena off. But you never know. Stranger things have happened on this game. This game is absolutely crazy. It really is absolutely crazy. So you never know. This really could go either way here this evening. And a twist in the tail at the end of this Raw Invades ICW pay-per-view could be exactly what we're looking for. It could really spice this one into life as potentially one of the better shows we've actually put on in the past. It's been a pretty good show so far. We've had some really good matches here and there. Some really, really good moments. And it could get even better here this evening. We could have that one big moment we've all been waiting for. Of course, that being John Cena losing his Raw Championship to the British Bulldog. Nothing against Cena. I just think Bulldog in the UK winning the championship would be fantastic for everybody involved. Massive fan of the British Bulldog. Taken before his time, of course. Bulldog now winning this strength test, and I was going to say you should expect that because Bulldog is the way he is, but at the same time, of course, Cena is an incredibly strong man himself. We all know that. I think he holds a lot of the records for the WWE gym. Biggest bench press and all that sort of stuff. I think he can bench press the equivalent of the Big Show. Well, what the Big Show weighs and what they book the Big Show as weighing are two completely different weights. And Bulldog had a very good start to this match so far. Of course, like I said, I was going to have Piper at ringside all night for the British talent, but I didn't think it made sense in some cases. And I think this was one of those matches. Of course, Bulldog, these are on the same roster, aren't they? Yeah, Roddy Piper and Bulldog are both on the same roster, yeah. Of course, British Bulldog, part of the Hart Foundation, alongside Owen Hart, Bret Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. A few guys we haven't seen a lot of so far. Of course, Owen Hart was the European champion to start our Universe mode off. He was very, very strong. But he didn't manage to hold on for one reason or another. A powerbomb there by Cena. And now it is Cena in control of this one. But Bulldog's back in control himself, and Bulldog doing a lot better here than I thought he was going to, locking in the Boston Crab now as well. See now front chancery and just twisting the arm of Bulldog and dropping a leg across there as well. And Cena's not really one for going for submission, so I can only imagine he's trying to weaken the arms to try and weaken the overall strength of the Bulldog. Of course, remember, I said Bulldog is very, very strong, and if Cena can weaken those arms, it's a very, very big advantage for him. We know that Bulldog likes to utilise power slams. He likes to utilise gorilla presses, and if his arms are weakened and in pain, then he might not be able to hit one of those moves. And Cena now looking to line Bulldog up for the 5-knuckle shuffle. There it is. I don't like that move at all. I don't like that move, and I really despise the Superman punch. I just don't like moves that are just weak little punches like that. It just means no difference to me. It makes no sense. Cena now taking British Bulldog up, and this could be a very, very quick championship defense here. And it is John Cena. I said he was going to be a bit too powerful in this one for British Bulldog, and he has proved it here with what was a very, very quick victory. And it seems to be Cena just seems to be so dominant on this. He really does seem to be really, really dominant. Like I say, he quite quickly defeated. Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules to pick up the Raw Championship. He's now quickly defeated the British Bulldog. The only man, I think, is John Cena, who can defeat somebody on his first finisher maneuver. Everyone else seems that if you look at Drew Galloway in the last one, he had to hit like 2 or 3 of his finisher maneuver even to have any chance of winning. And of course, he didn't even do that. But Cena hits 1 AA and it's enough. And Super Cena retains his reign of terror with a Raw Championship. But then again, of course, he is going to have to defend that belt in a couple of weeks' time against The Rock. So it's going to be an interesting one defending against The Rock as well. So yeah, it's been a pretty interesting episode. We have seen one brand new champion crowned, of course, in the shape of Nikki Storm. Great to see her win that belt. And of course, as I mentioned earlier on, all of these people are now going to be fully involved with the Raw roster. So that is the Sumerian Death Squad, Tommy End and Michael Dante, Noam Dar, Jack Jester, Nikki Storm, Grado, Drew Galloway, and well, that's it actually. All those guys have now, and the girl of course, have joined the Raw roster for good. So that's going to be a real big boost to the Raw roster. Some really interesting names there to bolster up our roster. And of course, Drew Galloway, after that performance, definitely deserves another shot at the European Championship. Maybe he could have a little bit of a feud with the winner of Cesaro versus Macho Man. So that's the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit the like button. And of course, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe as well. If you look in the description below, there will be a link to all the 4 playlists. We're starting to do a few more extra bits now on them all, of course. Like I said, we do have the SmackDown Global Cruiserweight Championship uploaded a couple of days ago, our first episode of that. And of course, this was a special episode as well, our Raw Invades ICW. It's a one-off, I suppose, but at the same time, we'll see a few more of these coming along. I think we might do a Beast of the East show, might do some sort of a Mexican tour. Obviously, we'll come back and probably do something like this again, maybe with some more British wrestlers, maybe the likes of Big Damo and Mikey Whiplash and a few other guys like that that really could make an influence into our universe mode. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all, I think it's tomorrow actually, for our next pay-per-view, Over the Edge. Big one, that is.